So I pulled up, super nice guy, kind of went over everything in it, everything that's been rebuilt. We'll go over that shortly once I get out on the road and out of this guy's hair. He's kind of gone over everything. There's like a more modern radio in it. It's got these super rare flying buttress seats. Some aftermarket wheels that kind of look like the OE ones. And he just kind of walked me through everything, and everything is replaced. New seals and all the little crankcase ventilation stuff. Ignition, the motor was just refreshed. So it's not a show car, but it's definitely perfect for me and what I would like to do and how I want to enjoy it. So we got our transit permit, and we're ready to drive this thing all the way home. It's about 1,300 miles, so I'm gonna get suited up, get comfortable, and then hopefully get some fuel and some lunch. Fuel for me and the car. Man, upstate New York is beautiful this time of year. Especially cruising in this thing. I'm absolutely loving this so far. This is like amazing. Got the Catskill Mountains up there, and we're headed south, and the weather is absolutely perfect. Crossing over the bridge into Pennsylvania, Jersey. So headlights, all the lights work. Doing our first night cruise along here. Also worth noting that the speedometer is not correct. I'm doing 75 miles per hour right now, not 95 or 90 or whatever it says. Still driving great. Burnt 0 oil on the last 200-mile tank. Got 27 miles per gallon and calculated. So very pumped about that. Seems to be working well. This radio has Bluetooth. I didn't know that, so we've been jamming on the single speaker, kind of just cruising along here. Gonna try to make it to south of DC tonight, and then make the rest of the trip tomorrow. It's been a fabulous drive. Steering wheel is straight. Let go of the wheel. I mean, this thing drives better than some of the new cars I've driven. Day 2 of driving, everything's great. I had to put about a quarter of a quart of oil in it today to put it back to the full mark. I probably could have let it go all the way home and not put oil in it. It might also push some oil just because it's at the full mark. I just didn't want to chance it. Oil pressure is still riding at 100 psi on the highway, so lots of oil pressure. Water temp's 185. I haven't found out some things. The lights all work and all that. I fixed a couple things. We're more than halfway in South Carolina. About to stop and get fuel again. It's been getting about 24 miles to the gallon today. I think the math on my first tank was wrong, just because it didn't fill all the way up. It clicked, and I filled it to what I thought was full, but I think it was off by about a gallon. So there's the math on that. But yeah, about to pull over, get some more fuel. Check the oil again and move forward from there. Well, we had our first little mishap, nothing major. I lost a sway bar linkage bolt, so I went ahead and found another bolt that was not being used on the car. It just had it was like a ground bolt, and it ended up being the same thread pitch, but there's no ground going to it because there's a bigger ground that goes from the motor to the body. So I got that back on there. I could have just ran without it and probably zip tied it up, but I'm glad I brought those tools with me. Able to put a bolt through it and kind of zip tie some things out of the way that were kind of shuffled around from it. I did it in front of this abandoned gas station. Back on the road we go. Pretty good. No hands. The road's kind of grooved out, so that's probably why, but it drives so straight. Like, even when the road leaned a little bit, the caster is solid to hold you for a really long time. What a good car. It's like, I have cars that are new that don't drive as good as this thing. I made it home. It's actually about 3 weeks later now, and I've had some time to go over the car. I drove it to get registered, got pulled over on the way there. He let me go. It's because my temp tag was down in the back window and he couldn't see it. I wasn't like speeding or anything. But anyways, some things I've learned about the car. It is insanely reliable. Drove 1,200 miles home-ish, maybe a little bit more. Burnt no oil. Literally, it was at just below the F on the full mark, and it's in the exact same spot when I made it down here, which is incredible because I was at, as you saw in the video, like 5,000 RPM pretty much the whole way home. So that's insane for a motor this old. It has been refreshed, and we found out it has centerline cams in it. It's got a fancy mechanical fuel pump that works like a diesel. They came like that. It's called Spica or Spica injection, however you want to pronounce it. That's been tuned already and done. It's a little bit rich now that I've found out, checking plugs and going over everything, so I'll have to find a way to lean it out a little bit. It's very easy to adjust. I watched some videos, so maybe there'll be some dyno tuning in the future on this to see if we can get it dialed in and running perfect. The front tires rub a little bit on the body, and on the way home I chipped the paint a little bit here, so I'm gonna basically pull some caster out of it, put some more camber in it, and probably go to a slightly smaller diameter tire. I have some NTO 5s that will go on here, fit really, really good. The seats are sick, and these are like really rare seats. They're called flying buttress seats. But they don't hold you in at all. They're meant for like a really oversized Italian that eats too many meatballs, I think. Which I'm catching up to. They don't hold well enough to like make the car feel useful. Like, you're kind of holding yourself up as you're driving it because the shifter's so far forward and the steering wheel is so far forward that like the seating position's not great. It's kind of cool because it's nostalgic, but also like I like really enjoying the cars. So there's that. I adjusted the idle finally, so now it idles and starts on the first turn. It doesn't idle super low for the first bit. This is a fancy little Alfaholic stainless thing. I haven't done anything to the car yet at all. I found out it does not have a limited slip, so I will need to put a limited slip on it. But I do have another 69 GTV that is like...
Weird flex.
Yeah, I bought it like, I don't even know.
12 years
ago. And it's been a project for a long time, and that's kind of why I bought this one, because this fulfills that project and it runs and drives, and that was a project that I don't have time for. But I do have time to swap the diff out of that one. We found out this one has like a weird rear end ratio that only came in like some Spiders, or Juniors or something, so it's got a really high ratio. And that other one that's in that car is a lower ratio, so the gears will be a little longer. And it has a limited slip. But yeah, I just kind of went over everything, made sure everything was tight when I got home, and there wasn't a single bolt loose, no issues, no problems. It made it flawless. There's no rust underneath. It looks insanely clean because I didn't get a real good look at it when I bought it. I just was going off of the photos in the ad on Bring a Trailer. It's amazing that you can buy a car that's like 20 years older than you and get in it and drive it 1,200 miles at 80 miles an hour all the way home, which I feel like in the 60s, late 60s, going 80 miles an hour on the highway already was fast. And this thing had no problems at all. It was perfect. But yeah, it doesn't need shit. It's ready to go. And my modifications will likely be, oh yeah, this is the mechanical injection stuff. And the pump runs off like a dry sump down here at the bottom. It's kind of neat. My modifications will be a new exhaust from the header back, and maybe, depending on how the tuning goes, some even bigger cams in it to make a little bit more power up top. The car has an absolute ton of mid-range. It's crazy, but I think it could benefit from some more modern, bigger cams, and maybe something to do with the airbox or something. We'll see. It seems like it's got plenty of fuel, so we just need to get some more air in it and make some more horsepower. I'm really excited to see where this project goes. It's not really a project. It's kind of just a driver that I'm going to keep upgrading. slowly and keep it like so that it's never down and can go be driven whenever it wants, because it definitely puts a smile on your face.
Go ahead and comment if I should do the dupe of this. What, the second one he owns?
Oh, you can't have the second one.
His and hers.
It's pretty sick though.
His and hers.